Industrialization brought many changes. These changes that came after the Industrial Revolution we are going to study in this lesson, post-industrialization age. Industrial Revolution led to establishment of factory system. Lot of new factories came as a result. People came to those places, the cities became bigger, so it led to new growth of new cities, and because of the people there was overcrowding. So there were new cities, the problem was overcrowding. This is what happened after Industrial Revolution. Next, it led to rise of capitalist economy. The factories were owned by the capitalist people who had money, and they paid the laborers very low wages. They exploited the workers working in the factories. We go to third transformation. Family life was affected. There was no time for family members to talk to each other. The mother was working, father was working, children were working. The children were neglected. This is very well brought out by Charles Dickens in his novel Oliver Twist, how the children were neglected. The people had to live in unhygienic conditions. You can see in the picture, the slum area. There was starvation and malnutrition. People did not get enough to eat. They were busy working. They ate little but worked more. Concept of leisure changed. Leisure is free time. Now because of machines, people got free time, especially rich and middle class got time. They used this time for other activities. For example, now because of the grinder and the mixer, the ladies at home have time. They don't have to sit and grind. They can just switch on the button and they can use this time to do some other work. Point number 5, printing technology revolutionized reading habits. Printing press was introduced. First printing press was started by John Gutenberg in Germany. Because of printing, books were easily available, and for cheaper rates, people began to read the books. They got ideas. Point number 6, it led to widespread circulation of newspapers. The newspapers helped in the spread of ideas. People read newspapers, they got ideas. In India, for example, newspapers could spread nationalistic ideas. Because of newspapers, the leaders in India shared their views. Suppose they wanted to fight against the British, they wrote in the newspapers. The other people in India read what was written. So they shared their views. And through the newspapers, they were aware of the exploitation by British in India. With regard to newspapers, I would like to go in detail. Let us see a very famous person in India, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He published a journal called Samvad Kaumudi. Now his journal helped the Indians because it highlighted the condition of Indian society, what problems the Indian society faced, like there was sati, there was problem of widow remarriages and sending children to school. So he encouraged people to change all this. It highlighted exploitation and humiliations of Indians, how the British exploited and humiliated Indians, that he wrote in this magazine. So this marked the beginning of Indian journalism. Because of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, things began to change in India. Point number 7, it led to growth of advertisements. Now whatever was produced had to be sold. People should know, therefore advertisements are very important. So these advertisements helped them to sell their products and they could make money. Point number 8, led to growth of publishing houses. People in olden days wrote and sold what they wrote to the publishing houses. They published and they made money, and also the person who wrote got money. So this way people used to live. There are many famous novels like Oliver Twist, Gulliver's Travel, and many others. There's Oliver Twist written by Charles Dickens, and then in India we see Anandamath, Kuli, Gitanjali, some of the famous novels. Gitanjali by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, and there were women writers who wrote novels. Pride and Prejudice was written by Jane Austen. Another famous novel was Wuthering Heights. After the Industrial Revolution, there was growth of new political ideas. Rights and privileges of common masses became important. People began to make people aware of their rights and privileges. We saw that in the French Revolution, the three philosophers, Montesquieu, Rousseau and Voltaire, who had books, and these books were read by people and people became aware of what they had to do. In India also, we saw Lokman Tilak, Mahatma Gandhi and many other leaders wrote in the newspapers, in the books, whatever they wanted to tell the people, and made the people aware to fight against the British. In the conclusion, let us see that all this led to emergence of new society, a society which recognized rights and privileges of every person, that every person is free, every person can enjoy freedom, every person can enjoy his life. This type of thinking began to spread. It made the people happy. So Industrial Revolution was a positive thing that happened in the world. Therefore, it is called revolution. The changes that we got are long-lasting. Industrial Revolution started in 1750, but till today, we see the benefits. We produce better machines. The life has changed. So that is why it is called revolution. Thank you very much.